Hello everybody and welcome to the first tutorial that I'm going to offer you throughout this YouTube channel. The first tutorial I'm going to give you is of course on spreadsheets because I'm a big fan of those, and the first thing we're going to do is give you some ideas how you can carry out some basic formatting to a spreadsheet. Okay, and for those of you in year 9, I'm going to show you a task that you're actually required to do in one of the lessons, and one of those very first tasks is to enter some data into a spreadsheet, and then you will end up with this, okay, which is what we have here. You're then asked to carry out some basic formatting. And for those of you who don't know, formatting just basically is how we can improve the look of the spreadsheet. So it will include things like bold, underline, putting borders around cells, widening the columns, making the rows higher, and applying splashes of colour all over it. There are a few more complex formatting techniques we can do, but today we're just going to focus on basic formatting. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a spreadsheet with a few numbers in it and some text. Okay, and it doesn't look very nice. Okay, and if we were to print that, okay, it wouldn't look very nice on there either. So what we're going to do is, well, what we're going to end up with at the end is we're going to end up with this. Okay, and as you can see straight away, looks a bit neater, things stand out a little bit better, and when we finally get to the print preview, you know, that's much more usable if we were to print that off. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we can see all the text in the columns, so we're going to widen them. Okay, you just select in between the letters and you just make it as wide to fit everything on. Okay, and that one there to fit this in. Okay, I'm now going to bold text, which is a formatting technique and very useful. You just select with your left mouse click and then go up to your font tool or bar and press bold. Okay, and we're going to do that for the rest of them. Okay, I'm going to multi-select by keeping my finger on the control button. Okay, it's an advanced technique. Get that in and your teachers will be really impressed. Okay, I'm having to make the column wider again because the bold text took up more room. Okay, and I'm going to do that there as well. Okay, there's one formatting technique. The next was to apply cell background colour. Select the cells as normal and then select your fill tool here and then just select whatever array of colours you want. I'm going to select different colours just to make it stand out a bit. You know, as soon as you've done this once or twice you will get really quite quick at it. Okay, so that's too dark. We know we can't have a dark background with dark text. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to apply a border around the cells. Okay, and to do that, again you select the cells and you select your border tool here. If you click the little arrow, it gives you the options of if you want a border just on the bottom of the cells, at the top. We want one all the way around, so we're going to click this one. Okay. What has been seen in some classes, and it's really bad practice, is some students will just go, there you go sir, I've put borders around my cell. But when you print that out, it's such bad practice to see all those cells there with nothing on it. Okay, so really do only put a border around a cell that has something in it, which is what we're trying to do here. Okay, and again there, we select this and this, and once you've selected this, by the way, it will remain in that box, so you're not having to cycle down the little drop down. Okay, and there we go, borders. Already this spreadsheet is starting to look a little bit more professional, and if we were to print it, a little bit more easier to use once it's printed out. Okay, so we've used bold, we've used borders. Okay, I'm going to make these little notes, and that's all they are the notes for the user, italic. So again, you can multi-select by keeping your left mouse click down and press italic. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the font size. Okay, so I'm going to select, I'm going to go up just going to choose anything really that appears at the top, trying to keep it as professional as possible. So we've got antique olive. Okay, I'm going to make it size just here next to the font name 12. Okay, just so it stands out. Okay, and to make sure it's consistent, which is key, I'm going to change these to the same, these headings for all the others. So back up to the top, antique olive, there she is, and then back up to 12. Okay, and we're going to have to continue to format as we move forward because that's too short. Okay, so it's creeping into D. We just want it into there. The little trick is if you double click it, there you go, it just makes it as wide as it needs to be. Okay, so there we go, we've used bold, we've used italic, and obviously we could use underline if we want. We've used shading of the cell, and we've put borders on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we can change the alignment of the cells. Okay, and that's very simple. It's much like you've done in Word or PowerPoint when you want to put something in the centre. Okay, it's already centred here, but it's these buttons here we're looking at. Okay, so we can put all the text to the left, or numbers to the right, or in the middle. And I think for this task it's best if we keep it in the middle. Okay, and what I'd like to do is just increase the font size of these. Okay, and again I'm using my control button to multi-select. It just helps speed up this tutorial. Okay, and I'm just going to make that size 11. Okay, I can't quite see the bottom now. We've got the zoom tool here, okay, which we can zoom in and out of if we drag this. Okay, so just dragging it out fits it all back on. Okay, so we're nearly there. We look at this sheet 2, which is what we're aiming for. We're not far off, are we? So at the moment these cells are not going to be used, and I want to tell the user that, so I'm just going to put some shading in dark grey. And the final sort of instruction I'll show is how we can change, a number that we've entered into a currency, and it won't always do it automatically. So again, we're clicking into the cell, and we can multi-select again to make it a little bit quicker. And up here on the Home tab, we have this section here about what's in the cell, and at the moment it's pointing that we've just got a general non-specific format entered, and we want currency, and there's currency there. And if we click the currency, it puts in the pound signs for us and the pence and the decimal. Okay, now we need to just go through the rest of this column, changing any numbers that relate to a currency. Okay, these aren't currency, these are the number of memberships sold, so we're going to bypass those, and the rest is currency. So again, select up to the general, change to currency. Okay, now what this means is the value that is in that cell at the moment takes up too much space for the column to show it all, so it puts in these hashtags. Okay, it's not a Twitter thing. Okay, so if we just go up to the cell and the column, and we just make it a little bit wider, it fits on. Okay, brilliant. And then we can go up to this one, currency, down to this one, back up to the top, currency. There we go. We've done something very similar. We've got different colours, obviously, different fonts, but that now, when we look at it, is a much more attractive, much more professional, much easier to read and use spreadsheet, and that's all down to some very basic formatting techniques. Okay, that's my first tutorial over.